I'm not going to dress it up and pretend like it's something that it's not. I'm not going to be a sensationalist prick about it. Nintendo always find a way. They dig themselves out of the crazy holes they find themselves in. They curveball, they innovate, they get families interested again. It's what they do. The Wii U era was crazy and they found a way around that. Nintendo as an entity will be fine. That doesn't change the fact that the Nintendo Switch 2 itself does have a huge 2026 problem. Its holiday period sales were a plateau that Nintendo sure as hell were not expecting. People, even executives, often forget that we are not in the 2017 era of gaming anymore, where good word of mouth could still spread and goodwill for the system could go up and sales could steadily climb out of increasing awareness. That was kind of the last era where that was possible. Now, everyone who knows about a Switch 2 and made the decision to buy one has walked out of a store with one or had it arrive at their front door with, shipping and all that. Unless someone has financial issues, the way social media works is so widespread that Nintendo Switch 2 fans are already on board. That's why the system had such quick sales. Sorry if somebody didn't know that. That's why the system had such quick sales. Because if someone was going to buy one, they got one. The system now, moving into 2026, has two major problems blocking it from sales booms. Number one, shooters. Battlefield 6, Black Ops 7, and the insane global sensation Arc Raiders have all skipped the console, at least so far. Nintendo and third parties have already decided to treat the system like its predecessor when it comes to more exclusively adult content and shooters, and it's a huge problem because they're just missing out on an entire market of people who think Nintendo products just won't have anything to offer them. People are getting more obsessive now than ever before about specific genres, as sad as it may seem, and if those people don't have their niche catered to, they just won't show up for your hardware. Even future games like Halo Combat Evolved, that remake, Toxic Commando, and Bungie's Marathon all seem to be giving the Switch 2 a miss. Only 007 seems to be limping its way onto the system. But that doesn't give the community the itch they're looking for in the same fast-paced multiplayer way, if you know what I mean. Microsoft claimed that they were working with Nintendo so that they could secure their Activision acquisition, yet they completely skipped Black Ops 7 for the system, at least for now, which I don't know if they just straight up lied to the government to secure their acquisition or what, but hopefully that gets turned around, because unless something changes in that aspect, Nintendo has got a problem. Anyway, number 2 is co-op slop. I feel like before the internet was so commonplace for gamers, Nintendo was like the OG co-op slop, if you know what I mean. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, I'm just using the term for fun, but I mean like, it was the console that people laughed together with and were silly together with. New Super Mario Bros. On the couch, putting people in bubbles. That was fun for kids and adults in like dorm rooms just hanging out, you know what I mean? But now with PEAK and R.E.P.O and Are We There Yet and Lethal Company, at least a large adult audience who could have been hooked on more Switch 2 titles if they were like more co-op friendly have totally ditched the system for Steam. And I know affordability will always be in Steam's court and Steam will always just be the best in general, but they could at least have some overlap with that audience who are increasingly just ignoring the system altogether, because why would I buy Nintendo for my dorm room when I can just play PEAK with my homies? Like, at least 2026 needs to have something that has captured the essence of those titles, something that could be an internet sensation, something you find on Instagram Reels or TikTok where people are laughing and streamers are having a good time. Right now, that's just not there. Anyway, the reality is we are staring down the barrel at Mario Tennis Fever and Yoshi and the Mysterious Book for 2026, at least for now, which, don't get me wrong, I'm extremely excited about both. They are injecting Nintendo junkies like me and keeping us hooked, but unless Nintendo pulls a Game of the Year out of nowhere, I think my concerns would need to be addressed. Obviously, titles like Pokemon Pocketpedia or whatever the cool farming sim one is, and also the Splatoon Raiders, obviously they could turn out to kind of meet this kind of criteria and go insanely viral. But again, I think that right now the concerns need to be addressed. Who knows? Maybe they could just release all their Pokemon game catalog to NSO and create like a cultural event like no one's ever seen before, but I doubt it. Nintendo are super weird and cagey about their IP, and even though that would literally be a Pokemon Go scale event, they're just super weird about their IP. Even like huge hitters like releasing a Star Fox game or another Knockout, I just think that that stuff's incredibly unlikely, unfortunately. But anyway, we have upcoming directs to look forward to, and that might turn things around and make me a lot more optimistic, because I want to be. But right now, the Switch 2 has a problem, and I think it's actually pretty dire, and it's hard to say because, you know, it's currently my favorite system by far. I am a Nintendo junkie. Mario Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition is enough to keep me engaged, but I also know that I am not everybody, and I am a very special, weird case.